where do you find time for rest and play?
Okay. Well, rest, probably my structure with as far as the sleep, but as far as I have to be intentional about, for instance, our vacations.
Mm-hmm.
6 months apart, we take 2 weeks of vacation, 2 back-to-back weeks twice a year. So
That's good.
May and November, it's spread
Mm-hmm.
out. I'm going to miss 2 Sundays, and so our team knows that. Our congregation, I'm going to miss 2 Sundays, and that is the sort of the long term. Then I try to build in throughout the year too. My family and I are traveling, maybe going to speak somewhere, a day here, a day there, to build that in, along with recreation time. For instance, like in my family time, we're at a different stage of life. I have a 16-year-old at home. My other 3
Mm-hmm.
children, they're married, they're out of the home. He goes with me. We go to the gym together. So we exercise. We have that time together on a
That's
daily
good.
basis. But we have
So
daily,
you're having
weekly,
daily
and then quarterly.
conversations with him at the gym, and
Yeah.
you're able to interact with him and just talk about life, as you're doing something productive with your time as well, or
Yeah, especially
something different and productive. Both are productive, but
yeah, especially the trip to and from. In the car, there's a lot of
yeah,
great conversation that takes place in the car.
yeah. So, in your day to day, I'm hearing that you take segments, to play tacked on to a ministry trip or
Yeah.
whatever. Do you have? Do you feel like that it's important to find that time to play and do things other than productivity in your week, or
Mm.
does the occasional suffice you?
No, and to be completely honest, this is probably the area that I have struggled most with, and
I'm
that
asking you because I
Rachel.
struggle with this.
Yeah, no, and I'm telling you, Rachel. Rachel is such a help because she'll bring it to my attention.
Yeah.
For instance, at our church, we don't schedule anything on Monday nights. It's
Hmm.
family night the whole year long. We're not going to schedule
We do the same
things on
here at
Monday night.
POA. Yeah.
Yeah, and so of course, we try to have a Monday night family night, game night. One of my sons now lives back in the area. Invite them over. But the problem with life is that there's always disruptions. And the flexibility to be able to figure out, okay, this didn't work out how our ideal week is, a
Yeah.
Monday night family game night, but getting together for meals, together. So that's one of the things that we do try to make sure is our meal time together.
Hmm.
The kids on the weekend, from after Sunday, to me, after Sunday lunch is us getting together as a family time. So I don't do a lot really church as much as going out with my family, especially that they're here. Picking a day in the week to do some activity, I struggle with it. It's something that I feel like I'm getting there, and then other things adjust. So it's a constant battle for me to have it just structured. So for me, the vacations and other things that I can put in the calendar and block and hold down is what works for me. And then the weekly is where we have to adjust and I need work.
Yeah. Well, what do you feel? You're talking a lot about family here, balancing family time and all. What do you feel is a critical piece? Like, if you can get this done with your family in a week's time, that would be a success. Is it intentional conversations with them? What does that look like?
Yeah. For me, it's just being with them, present.
Hmm.
And now it's not for Rachel. So Rachel, it's more eye contact, we're face to face. To
Hmm.
me, we can be side to side, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just in the same car, going there. And Rachel is saying, no, we need to sit down, nothing going, and just face to face. And
Quality
so,
time, not just time,
right,
quality
exactly,
time,
exactly.
which
So,
is
like,
harder for a
yeah,
productivity driven man.
oh, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And so, learning that, respecting that, So a lot of times that's where our meal times is. We're not going to be driven by phones or technology. That's off the table. We have to sit down at the table and to speak. And really, it's embarrassing to say she really had to pound this into me, because
Because it wasn't important to you. You
no, to me
you could
we're in
be
the same
filled in
room,
other ways.
right?
Yeah.
To me, we're in the same room, and when we're in the same room, we can be focused on different things, and I feel close to her because we're there
Hmm.
together, and share probably some of our great conversations. Of course, our first 5 years we traveled evangelizing, so much of our conversation were taking place on the road, driving, just talking for hours at a time. But yeah, so what I've tried to do is make sure our dinner time, those nights that we're having dinner at the house, that we are at the table. We use we even have those conversation starter cards where we'll go around the table, high low, talk about our high points, low points, and so we try to again be intentional about that, using tools, in fact, just to make it fun,
Hmm.
trivia, whatever, to engage.
That's very good. Very good. In regards to your kids, anything different there, or is it kind of the same? I'm
Yeah,
sure each one of them have different needs, relational needs, but how do you key into that, and how do you make sure you attune to them?
yeah, great question, and probably some of it, especially for leaders, is for us to realize there are different seasons of life,
Hmm.
and the season I'm at right now is much different than in my 30s when I had little kids at home. Right? I mean, when you have,
Right.
4 or 5 year olds, 8, 9 year olds, that's a whole different season than when they're 25-year old.
Right.
And so I think one of the aspects in leadership I had to discover too, and I hope leaders, continue to understand, is that you have to adjust to your season of life. And you cannot look at somebody who does not have kids at home and say,
That's
okay,
wisdom.
that's where I'm at. No, I had to understand that when I had little kids, it was a different season than what it is
Yeah.
now. So now my kids are pretty much all are grown. The 16-year-old at home, Grant, and my kids were in college and at Urshan. So even over the last few years, when I was in town, I would schedule every week a meal time for us just to get together and eat and talk. And it's really easy to do that when they're in college and have no money because they always want to eat with their dad, when
Yeah, of
when they're
course.
in college and have no money. So it worked out perfectly. And no, we some of my fondest memories over the last during those 20s would be us sitting across the table talking about where they're at, what they're learning, so at that time in college, life experience. During the last few years, 3 of my kids have got married. In fact, 2 of my kids have got married in the last 6 months. So,
Goodness.
so these are these are major life decisions that we have been talking about and seeing them develop into careers and ministry and vocation. Um, Making life decisions about who they're going to marry. So all of those things have been just a great, great part of this season of our life, much different than it was when they were, 10.